of like it right now. When you do so, it helps the channel. You feel me? All right, listen. Next topic, leading right into it because it was mentioned a million times, right? So that's a example to kind of define or help clarify or give context to the next question. So I said, can we? Because everybody's black on this panel. Can a black person date outside their race and still be pro-black?
Hell no.
Nope.
Eddie, you've been on this show. You're supposed to follow the rule. You acting like Shannon.
Oh, I apologize.
Like Shannon
My
said.
spirits. Weekend Eve. I'm sorry.
All right, you're gonna have to hold on to it. I'm gonna let B open it up. B.
No. I've always, as I look at it, I've always seen, the black person, and growing up in the South, you'll see it all the time. Interracial dating. That's just a thing in the South. And I've always thought, what would make a black person dip outside of his race? When you look at how the white folk done treated us and how they molested and how they raped us and all this, why would you want to associate yourself with them? Now, in the South, I'll say it's kind of hard not to, but in terms of dating, why? I mean, if you black and you did you ain't pro-black. No. I mean, all right, no.
So you said you don't support interracial dating?
Not no black against no white person. Hell no. Shit.
And now on top of that, you saying if you did, you're definitely not pro-black.
No, you're not pro-black. When we look at the word pro, that means you for. That means you with. Okay, like I'm a Colts fan. I can't root for the Colts one Sunday, then the next Sunday I'm rooting for the Denver Broncos. Like I ain't a pro Colts fan if I do that. I mean, if you're black, you're gonna date outside your race. They're the Hispanics. Their race is about our struggle is about the same with Hispanics. Okay, but with them white folks, man, no, leave them people alone. Can't be pro-black, then you gonna sit back and date them? No.
Okay. Alex, can you be pro-black and date outside your race?
No. I don't have an issue with interracial dating. It doesn't make sense to me though. How you could date out interracially and then still be pro-black.
Right.
It doesn't make sense to me. I'm here to learn and hear a different perspective, but it doesn't make sense in my mind.
The two don't even go hand in hand.
Wait. So can I ask a quick question? Then, so that means y'all don't support the judge is not pro-black?
No.
That we were just talking about.
She dating a saltine, right? Now we're on the podcast. I can't say what I want to say.
I feel like I'm on the line.
I was asking Alex though, because when we were talking about the judge, she was saying everything that she stood for. So it's like boom, but she not pro-black.
No, I didn't say what she stood for. I said that I can identify with her. But
Okay.
To Shan's point, as you move into certain spaces, there are less of us there. And that's not to say that she didn't have a history of dating black men before, which is why I'm just kind of on the line about it. I don't feel like you take my black card because this individual has decided to step out of their race or they're any less for black people. But to me, I guess I would want to know from that individual, like, what made you decide to get with this other individual?
Okay. Adrian.
Wait, Shannon, you raising your hand? You want to go?
Yeah, I raised my hand.
She next.
I'm next.
Because she's brewing.
Yeah, absolutely. You can absolutely be pro-black and date outside your race. Why not?
Nigga troll.
Nah, I'm so serious. I'm so serious. Like for black people, right? So if I go get a white woman, I only work with black people. The majority of my patients are black men. So now I no longer support black men because I'm sleeping with a white woman.
So can you talk black and sleep white?
What do you mean? I'm sleeping as a black man. I'm black everywhere I go, regardless of who's next to me or who I'm sleeping with.
Gotcha. So when you procreate, what happens?
My child identifies with me as being the black father, so my child is black.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So you're saying yes?
Yeah, you absolutely can be for, because I look at pro-black as being for black people, supporting black people genuinely. I think you can be with somebody of the out. Now I wouldn't do it, but I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Bruh.
Like, it's just not my cup of tea.
God damn, man! You a double Dutch pro?
How is that double dutching?
Jesus.
I'm not attracted to white women, so I'm not gonna be with a white woman. That's the only reason why. I don't think nothing wrong with it though.
Okay, all right.
Dang,
Mute your mic. Hey, Shan, what's up?
This is might be risky comment.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I would need a consensus on what it is to be pro-black in all like definitions, to be clear, number one.
Mm-hmm.
But not having one from the group. I would say when it comes to love, partnership, and life, I have no pro-black on that. So whoever is designed to be my partner in life and support me and my ideas and what I believe in and all this other stuff may not be a black man. It may be a man of a different race because we are aligning in a space where we are in partnership through life. Now, if we're talking about pro-black, I am a black woman. I love black people. I naturally will align with a lot of things in our black culture that I want to highlight, that I want to see us do well as a culture because I'm a part of it. My children will know their black side, whether they're what we want to call full black or, share some other race. I can be pro-black if that's how we want to define it in a lot of ways. But when it comes to my partnership, which is one of the hardest things we all know to maintain, you got to be aligned with the right person. I'm not putting parameters on that to say I will only stay with black men to be deemed pro-black overall. It takes nothing away from me based on who I love. Nothing.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to say, Shannon.
Don't worry, Adrian. She said it for you.
Yeah, we ain't done. We about to go back around.
Real quick, I do wonder though. This might be my risky comment. When you are, for example, dating, married, and you have kids who are interracial, are you looking at it from the perspective of solely black when you have to make decisions, or are you also balancing that with the other intersected identity of your child? And I think that is a question that, in terms of the pro-black piece and getting back to the justice, I think there is, again, something to be said for why she's been selected and nominated, because she has a balanced perspective in that regard. I think love is love. At one point, people thought that if you were black and gay, you could not be pro-black because you were not procreating and you were abomination going straight to hell. I don't think that who you love dictates your blackness. I do think that love is about compromise. How much are you willing to sacrifice your privilege and your entitlements, your wants and your feelings to be able to help your partner be successful and vice versa? And if you can find a partner who can do that with you, then why not keep it moving? Everybody's going to have their interests. So, for example, if I am married to somebody who's black, and let's say, for example, right, we just going to go in the hypothetical lane, it's a black man. Me and this black man are going to have some compromises about what it means to be black from a black male perspective and what it means to be respected and compromised on my end as a black woman. So who wins in that situation, right? It's like, we want to put race above gender. And I think when we get into those types of nuances, we value other individuals and what they could bring to the table. Now, have I dated a white woman before? Not long term. I did go out on one date. I went on one date. And the reason being, well, I mean, she was cute. But also, it was a pressure. Like the entire time, it's like, my car about to be taken. I'm going to have to fight. Somebody about to challenge us. How dare I be gay and also walk around with this other person? And being in relationships, though, with predominantly black women, I have found it difficult because we both have a level of trauma because we are black women, or even interacting with some black men, our level of trauma because we are black. And going back to this, we see each other as enemies. I know I've been kind of dragging for a little bit. I'm going to stop, but all these things came to me.
Okay. Eddie, what you think?
Hey, guys. I definitely can appreciate everyone's discussion points. I would firmly say no. To Shannon's point in regards to having a definition, I'll piggyback off of Rhonda's point. You can absolutely, you know, love who you want to love and enjoy that intersectionality, all the composites that come with it. But when I think pro-black, I think firm blackness, everything, right? Down to the shea butter, like everything is aligned when it comes to uh, what blackness looks like politically, right? Having those definitions, what blackness looks like in terms of how we're going to raise our children, what blackness looks like when you're having that conversation with your son or daughter about being pulled over by the police, right? What it looks like when you are combing your child's hair, right, and knowing what the hell to do versus, your partner from the other end trying to comb it with some other stuff, and now your child's hair all burnt up, right? So like, I'm looking at all components of blackness, and when you throw milk in the coffee, you can't fully call that what it is anymore, right? Call that my risky comment. I'm just thinking about it from the aspect of how Malcolm X defined it, right? Like, you can't find yourself, sleeping with what has been damn near an eternal enemy, not just the last 400 or 500 years, but we're going back 5,000 to 6,000 years when the first pink toe touched Africa. It's just, it's been a minute that we're dealing with this level of oppression, right? And this level of enemy. And if you don't see it that way because the world has gotten so comfortable for the Negro, it's just like, yo, and I utilize Negro on purpose, right? Because I feel like this elevation that's needed for us to move forward and kind of get past some of these conversations where it's just like where you're dating and how that affects your people overall or how it affects you in your own personal space shouldn't have a consequence. We're just not there yet, right? But it's also like, for me, it's one of those things where it's just like, nah, like if we're gonna build a black community, it has to be black down to the DNA strands, right? And I think that comes with a lot of things, as Rhonda was explaining. And it's like, can I do that with Becky on my arm? No. Just last week or 2 weeks ago, we saw the brother that was not fully pro-black insulting black women, and then the white woman that he was with ended up stabbing his ass to death in Miami, right? And there's plenty of examples like that back and forth, right? The sister that was in, I think, Costa Rica or something like that, they didn't even bother investigating it that deeply, but it was a white man that killed her, right? So I'm looking at all these interracial examples where, again, I utilize the word Negro on purpose. You got Negroes out here trying to find love within the context of their master, and we're not talking cognitive dissonance. We're not talking Stockholm syndrome. Like, how is it that you find yourself wanting to mate with the group of people, you can even call them people, that have slaughtered just that's dissipated our community the way they have, and then for some reason you just click in your mind and you forget, like, oh, this person is a good person and they're attractive and I want to rock with them based on that. But it's the level of society that has comforted us, again, use that word again, to the degree where we're kind of lulled to sleep around how serious it is to see somebody from your community with that other person. But it's also like, we got to consider the self-hatred within ourselves, right? So we're not even fully there where we love ourselves enough to extend the olive branch to love others, particularly the people who have historically fucked us over. So I would say firmly, hell no. Keep your coffee black, add some sugar to it. It's perfectly.
The friend, and we out.